वेलकम बैक टू माय ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल। दिस इज गौरव यूट्यूब चैनल में आप सभी लोग का स्वागत है। तो आज हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक जो अभी रिसेंटली स्टार्ट हुआ है, मतलब जो अभी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आई है हमारे क्रिकेट जगत में कि तीन श्रीलंकन खिलाड़ी, जो कुशल मेंडिस जिनका नाम था, कुशल मेंडिस डिक्वेला और दिलुथ जिनका नाम था, मेरे ख्याल से गुनातिकला जिनका नाम था, सॉरी। तो इन तीनों प्लेयर को एक एक साल का बैन कर दिया गया। उसी पे हमारा डिस्कशन है। हमारे साथ आज स्पेशल गेस्ट आए हुए हैं। एक स्पेशल गेस्ट आप लोगों को ऑलरेडी पता है, इज ऑल वे फ्रॉम ऑस्ट्रेलिया। वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड लुकस इज ऑलरेडी देयर। Diluth has joined us. He is all the way from Sri Lanka. He will provide much more information regarding that. And Soban, as usual, has joined us from our show. So welcome back to my show, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So Diluth,
Thank you.
so we'll
Gaurav.
start talking with you. First of all, thank you very much. You have found a little time for us. Okay. So
My pleasure.
you all guys have seen that video. What happened on that day? So I
Yeah.
want to ask with Diluth, what was your reaction on that video? I want to know just about the reaction of that video after that video got viral on the internet.
Actually disappointed. Disappointed as a fan and disappointed as a nation. You know,
Okay, and
you can't allow uh, players to do like, even if you are not performing in the field as well as out of the field. So it will be a black sign. So entire
and
nation
what was
will be disappointed.
and what was the reaction in Sri Lanka?
It's very much toxic out there in the fans as well as the officials. Everyone got toxic about these players and also with the cricket as well.
Okay, so they are more hurt with the cricket also, because Sri Lanka isn't
Yeah.
performing as much as their standard. Okay, and what are the reaction of ex-players who has played for Sri Lanka, who were part of the very much brilliant team like of Sangakkara, Jayasuriya, and Mahela Jabardhan? What was their reaction? I want to know.
Uh, yeah, everyone else has expressed their views and they also disappointed. They were angry, and on the television and they also in their social media they have been expressed their angry towards the management as well as these players.
Okay, we'll get back to you, Dalit, for a moment. Let's talk to other guys. Lucas, you have also seen that video. What was your reaction once that video got viral in the internet? Lucas, you need to first unmute yourself.
When I first saw this video, at that time I thought I was kind of divided. I think it's well within their rights for players. If players want to have a smoke on their free time, so be it. I'm not one to judge, who shouldn't smoke and who should smoke. I don't smoke myself personally, but when I saw it, I thought it was more of a bad look. A very bad look. A very unprofessional look. But having said that, if I don't know if these two players are regular smokers, I don't know if it was a once-off thing. But my initial thoughts was, yes, it was very unprofessional, but it is their time. If they do want to have a dart / a smoke, well, they're well within their rights. As long as it's not cannabis or any kind of drug related to that. If they're just smoking tobacco, maybe they should have done in the hotel rooms. But I just thought this was very unprofessional. We have to be very clear. They didn't kill anybody. Let's get that out of the way. They didn't hurt anybody. They weren't causing trouble on the streets. They weren't mucking around saying anything. They were having a couple of cigarettes. Sitting down. But it was still very unprofessional. These are professional players at the end of the day, and they should have known better. But whatever they want to do in their free time, then so be it. And we'll talk about the length of the ban later. But I just thought it was unprofessional. But I think they're allowed to do what they can in their free time within reason, as long as it's professional. And sadly, what they did was not professional.
If you take my point of view, I think if the situation was normal, it was earlier 2 3 years ago, I think that would be in a normal situation. That would have been fine. I think once the corona has come back, the biosecure bubble has also arrived in cricket matches. So that looks much unprofessional. And during this time, otherwise, I think it doesn't get affected earlier. Okay, we'll get back to you, Soban. Soban, what's your reaction once the video got viral on the internet? What's your reaction was? And you need to first unmute yourself.
Yeah, it was. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, look, it looked ugly, to be very honest. We saw two players, two high profile players, and sometimes players need to understand that they are the ambassadors when they travel outside. The way they behave, the country will definitely, like, for example, if Sri Lankan players have traveled to England, then English crowd will definitely look up to Sri Lanka. They will consider that these are Sri Lanka's, brand ambassadors. As an ambassador, you have to stay disciplined. If they were not playing for Sri Lanka, if they were normal citizens of Sri Lanka, then there was no question at all. So in my opinion, look, Lucas made a good point about smoking. They didn't kill anyone; they only smoked. But sometimes it depends in which part of society you are coming from. Maybe in India or in Sri Lanka or in the subcontinent, smoking sometimes can be a very attention-seeking thing. So in my opinion, it was totally wrong in their part, breaching the bubble. And you have to look at you have to look at the English management, the money they have put in. When Jofra Archer breached the bubble in 2020 last year, the English management straight away kicked him out of the team, because England has spent a lot of pounds or a lot of money to get that biosecure bubble done. So, in my opinion, you have to be responsible. As a cricketer, you had been taught since when you were growing up that you have to stay disciplined. But the way they have behaved, and you have to look at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a small island where the talent pool is very less. So, as a cricketer, if you are getting a chance, you have to make the most of your opportunities. We look at New Zealand. New Zealand is again 5 million. The way they have played, the way they are similar to Sri Lanka, maybe even lesser in terms of talent pool. But the way they are disciplined, you have to see Kane, his boys. So, in my opinion, staying disciplined is the first thing, and the way they have behaved, it was quite naive, in my opinion.
Okay, point taken. Soban, moving on to Dulit. Dulit, my question is to you that was the smoking was the only reason they have got banned, or the actual reason was they have break the biosecure bubble? That's why they got banned. Dulit.
Yeah, you are correct, Gaurav. Not the smoking thing is the curse. That was actually the breaching the biosecured bubble. So in Durham, I think as per the information we have, the host team, they can accommodate their families, but the foreign team, the touring team, they cannot, as per the rules. So, and that Durham, where they lodged in, they have something like canal and a strip. They were allowed to go out in the night and the morning, where the people are not around, so they were allowed. But there was a bridge. They have been clearly instructed you can't go near or nowhere near to that bridge. So they were breached the bubble, and that was the major concern. And also, as Soban said, Sri Lankan cricket, the administration has been administration has been very concerned about Sri Lankan cricket team, and they all have been vaccinated in this difficult time, and as well as for this tour, they have been spent so much million of rupees, and they have been allocated a charter flight to the London. So they have been as and also they have been allocated a separate doctor for this tour. Sri Lankan cricket has been very disappointed about what was happened in Durham.
Okay, Soban.
Another point, look, apart from like we have got four people, out of which two are Indians and one is Sri Lankan and one is an Aussie. Look, for Australia, they have world champion teams. They have rugby, they have cricket, they have football everywhere. They have Olympics. They have everything to look forward. For Sri Lanka, for India, for Bangladesh, cricket is a, like I would say, it's a kind of a
It's like
religion in, and
yes.
we look up to the cricketers. If we look at Virat Kohli, we don't only look we not only look into Virat Kohli's eyes as a leader. We look as a citizen of India, as a bigger brand ambassador. So, in my opinion, being from the subcontinent, it hurts a lot because we want Sri Lanka to. We want Sri Lanka. We want that Sri Lanka, that vintage son of Jay Surya opening the batting with Chaminda Vas finishing the innings, and then Dilhara Fernando, all those
Sorry,
cricketers. And
the,
yeah,
you're talking about opening Sanat Jasuria with Chaminda was right? I think Chaminda
no,
was
no,
No, he
wasn't.
was mentioning was a
Chaminda
bowler.
Vas,
No.
yeah,
Okay, you
finishing the
were
innings.
mentioning players.
Yeah, I was just
No.
about to a lot of legends. That Sri Lanka is a powerhouse. If we look,
Yeah.
cricket once Ian Chappell said, I remember, cricket cannot afford to have West Indies as a bad side because we are maximum as 10 to 12 teams. So around that we have to stay secured. So cricketing family is a very small family. It's not football where we have 205 associate members or full members. So for cricket, it's a bad day for cricket actually, and it's a big loss not only for Sri Lanka, for cricket fans, and for fans all over and the followers of Sri Lankan cricket.
And one more point, guys. I think to be in that biosecure bubble, it really goes to your mental health. So I can understand you can take a break from any series you want, but once you are crossing that biosecure bubble, I think you are not risking with your life also. To you are risking with other life also. So it is very hard. I think as Dulit has said, the only reason they got banned was they have breached the biosecure bubble, and that's why they got banned. Okay, moving on to the next topic. I think Dulit has very less time, so I want to ask with Dulit. Dulit, what's your take on the ban? Was it too harsh, or it was expected that they will got this amount of this much of ban from the players?
I think still the inquiries are going. They have been called all the CCTV footages from Durham, and they have been investigating all the incident. So until that, we can't say what will be the what will be the punishment or the ban or the something else. But anyway, they will be charged somehow and some way. They
I
were
think the
deserved.
ban is announced. I think the Sri Lankan board has announced that these three players has been banned for 1 year, right?
Not yet finished. This is not the final resolution. As of now, yeah, 1 year ban likely, but still further investigation were developing around the Sri Lanka Cricket Administration.
So basically, we're trying to say that once they investigate that matter, the ban could be reduced, right?
Sometimes I cannot exactly say what will be the final decision until they will the investigation will finish.
And I think they are banned for 1 year. So will the Sri Lankan board allow these three players to play the domestic cricket or even leagues?
I think they will be allowed to play domestic, but not in the LPL coming in August or September. LPL will be hitting in the cards, so I don't
Okay.
think they will get involved with the LPL as well as for the especially the Indian series.
Okay, and Dulit, I will get back to you. Lucas, so was the announced? I think 1 year ban that they have got. Was it too harsh? And was it too harsh, or you were expecting the same month of back, because we have seen David Warner and Steve Smith, they got 1 year ban, and they were once they returned back to the international cricket, we have seen David Warner still is not that David Warner who used to play fearlessly cricket in international cricket. So what's your take on that, Lucas?
Well, when I heard one of the players have banned for a year, I thought James Sutherland was the CEO of Sri Lanka. I thought it was absolutely disgusting. Yes, they did breach a bubble. Yes, they were caught smoking. But 1 year, really? You got to be kidding me. These aren't. These are, in a way, these are like David Warner and Steve Smith of Sri Lanka. These are very high profile players. This isn't just some rookie players. Mendis and Dickwella. They're proper Test match ODI players. They're in and out. They're like regular everyday players. And to ban them for 1 year for such a small, well, it's not a small thing, but for such for a one-off incident, I thought that was incredibly harsh.
Yes.
Like I said, they didn't kill anybody, they didn't hurt anybody, they weren't fighting or arguing outside the streets. They were in a peaceful, conductive way. And I thought just a 1 year ban is just absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But it is their decision. As I said, they could drop that ban. Whether they do or not, is not for me to decide. It's up to them. But I think a 1 year ban, is just absolutely insane for me.
Yeah, Shoban?
Yeah, in my opinion, 1 year is massive. 1 year is big, and the caliber of players that are involved in this issue is massive. So I believe, look, you don't have talent. To be very honest, your talent is really not coming up in Sri Lanka, and these are the players, those who will be looking to take Sri Lankan cricket forward. So banning them for a 1 year for smoking, for breaching bubble, like absolutely insane. And yes, if you are a side like Australia who banned Andrew Simons, who went for fishing, then you have to got a lot of guts, I believe. So in my opinion, 1 year is massive. And looking at Sri Lanka, I feel the Sri Lankan management is it's a hogwash, I believe. Banning the players is like just holding them to their positions. The administrators want their jobs. I believe if they ban players, sometimes the administrators ban players just because to save their office and to save their livelihood. So I believe it's something is very fishy out there.
Okay, and Tulit, one more question I want to ask with you. I think one more issue is going around in Sri Lanka cricket is about the contract of the players. So, what is the status right now?
Yeah, because of the performance they have been performed over the last couple of years. I think what was the stat in the T20 number 10 ranking, I think. So as per that, the management has decided the payments. The payment should be come up with the performance based. For that,
Okay.
for the new contract, some of the senior players, along with the newcomers, there have been put some resistance to the contract signatures. But anyway, the English series won't affect it. But soon after the English series, they have to sign the contracts anyway.
Okay. So I think
And
there is a one
also,
question for you.
I have to state that this is Sri Lanka toured England with so much of new players, newcomers like Dhananjay Lakshan,
Yes.
and they are promising players. They have been performed in the last LPL. So much of talent yet to come and yet to see in the national side, and there is a severe competition between these players. So, and this incident is actually a good learning point and good advice for all these youngsters and as well as the current players.
Yes. I think you have got one question, Dulit. Is everyone fed up with the biosecure bubble? That's why things are going more worse and players are losing control on themselves.
I don't think actually they have been allowed, as per the information, they have been allowed to walk that stream up to near that bridge in Durham, and when people are no way around that, they can walk freely. But if you breach those codes, no one can give you excuse. So not, I don't think they will be fed up with the biosecure bubble. They have been played LPL in a biosecure bubble really well, and they went to Bangladesh, so they have been experienced enough.
Okay, and Gaurav Ahire has asked you, DK, do you think Sri Lanka players are really serious about their game? And which Sri Lanka player do you think they will be legend in future?
Um, Actually, from the youngsters, I think Vanidu Hasaranga will be the legend in future, and he has been performed, and he has been shown, and he has been developing, as well as Chamira, Dushmanta Chamira. His
Yeah,
development
that
was
those two
very
players has
much.
really impressed everyone. I
Yeah,
think that Dusmant Chamira and Hasaranga. What
Hasaranga,
about you
yeah.
guys? Soban, which two players have impressed you guys?
Look, Dushman Chamira again, an experienced campaigner. Even he was picked for Rajasthan Royals, even though he didn't represent uh, the Rajasthan Royals. He has been a player who he made his debut in 2015 against New Zealand, if I am not wrong. He has just carried, but he has been, I guess, injury concerns. He has been injured several times, and he has been I would say, a high-class fast bowler. But the thing with Sri Lanka cricket is backing players. Dilip pointed out the correct thing that there are players. You need a lot of players. I mean, you need the selectors to back the players. Like some of the players, like in the recent years, have not been backed, even though they have performed well. But I believe after maybe 2 to 3 series, they have been dropped. The consistency in selection is very important in cricket. If you don't consistently pick a player, then the player will definitely lose his confidence. The same thing, the ditto, the same thing is happening in Pakistan cricket. The players, those who are coming up, like for example, Haider Ali, who has been a who has been the next big thing in Sri Lankan cricket. Sorry, in Pakistan cricket, I beg your pardon. He's nowhere in the scene. Even he breached the bubble last year, I guess last month, and he was been kicked out of the PSL. So I believe discipline and there was one comment that is it harsh on players? Definitely, it's harsh on players, but you have to take in account that the Indian team is the most traveling side in the last in this COVID bubble because they have, like, in India you can't go out. They went to Australia, they went to England, they played the IPL. So Indian players, you will never find these kind of things with the Indians because I believe they are much more maybe serious related to cricket. Sometimes it might have affect, but Dilip said the correct thing that they were allowed till the bridge. But I believe you have to take care of your own expenses. So I believe it's tough time for Sri Lankan cricket. The whole world should support us, but I believe they are not being supported by the bigger boards. I believe there's some of the problems. So, in my opinion, Sri Lanka has to. They have dug this hole. They have to come out of the hole as soon as possible.
Lucas, which player has impressed you in the recent series in England versus Sri Lanka series? Which two, three players has impressed you the most as a Sri Lankan player?
Well, he may not actually be playing in this white ball series, but I saw this young spinner. Sorry for the pronunciation here, but is it Mbiolia, or the young
What's
spinner?
his name? Bonidia. There's something like this.
Yeah.
So you need to
on the
unmute
test.
yourself. You need to unmute yourself, Soban.
He played. He came in. He came into the Test side.
In the Test side, he bowled incredibly well.
Yeah, he played in the Test, right?
Yeah. He didn't play in the West Indies series. Yeah, he didn't play in the West Indies series, but he's a player. A young spinner that really caught my eye. He did really well against England. He was very good at home. Why did he not play in that West Indies series?
Yeah, Dulit.
Sorry, I can get that.
He's asking about
why
Dunia, right?
why Praveen?
Why he hasn't played in the West Indies series?
You're asking about Praveen Javikrama?
No. He's asking about that left-arm spinner, Embul Dunia. That his name is.
Ambul, then yeah, he has been injured.
Oh,
He's been injured in the domestic practice session.
Okay, I do have
the Bangladesh.
Okay, yeah, he's a young spinner that's caught my eye. He seems to be the next thing after Herrera. Yep. But I do actually want to ask you a couple of questions. With these Sri Lankan players. Number one, with Dickwella and Mendes, is this the first time that they're actually, they were smokers, or have they done it? Have they smoked before, or is this a once-time thing?
I think they have been smoking earlier as well, but it is not a concern. I think smoking is not a big.
The smoking is not a concern. Actually, I think they break the biosecure bubble. That's the main concern.
Yeah, once you are in the playing condition and the practice sessions, if you keep your disciplines and if you focus on your game, so other things, it's okay, it's all up to you. No one will be worried about this.
Yeah,
Dulit, one of my friend asked you to that I always support Sri Lanka. For my friend Cat, please Gaurav take the name of Cat. I think I'm forgetting his actual name. I think that's his Twitter ID, right?
Yeah,
forgetting his name. Sorry, I think his Twitter ID is Cat, and I'm forgetting his name actually. Do you know, Dulit?
No. I can't remember actually.
Okay, no issue. Let it be. Thank you, Lucas. You have any more questions?
Yeah, I've got one more question now. Lucas, you mentioned that.
Lucas, one more thing. I think his name is Fernando.
Andrew Fidel, I think. Yeah. What's up? He's a representative for the Cricket Info.
Yeah, Lucas.
Okay, yeah. Earlier in the show, you mentioned that Sri Lanka are having problems with contracts and with their cricket board. Now, because of that, is there anything got to do with why this ban is such long? Has that been taken into consideration? Because Sri Lanka, in talks of contracts. Is this got to do with one of the reasons why the ban has been so harsh?
Actually, this present sports minister, Mr. Namal Rajapaksa, has been appointed a high performance committee for the sports, especially for the cricket, including Ravinda De Silva, Mahela Jayawardena, and Sangakkara. So Mahela will be heading those committee, and they have been preparing new constitution for the cricket as well as all the sports. So there have been lots of developments going in the sporting arena in Sri Lanka. So there may be ups and downs in coming days. So there may be some reasons why they have been not agreeing for these contracts, especially for the performance-based agreements.
Okay, guys. I think Dulit has little less time.
Yeah.
He has made some time for my show. Thank you, Dulit, for coming to my show. I hope you will be available once India is touring Sri Lanka. I think you will be available with us, right?
Sure, so thank you. I'll be there. Thank you, Gaurav. Okay. Thank you, Soban, and thank you,
Lucas.
Australian guy, Lucas.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you very much, Lucas. Okay. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Dulet, for coming
Bye.
back to
Bye-bye.
coming to my show. Thank you, Soban. Thank you, Lucas. We'll join tomorrow at the same point of time. It's time to wrap the show right now. Thank you all guys who made my show entertaining and more interesting. It's time to wrap the show. वीडियो पसंद आए लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, बेल आइकन को भी जरूर दबाएं और कोशिश करें, अगर देख रहे हैं फिर भी सब्सक्राइब नहीं करें तो सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें। आज के लिए इतना ही रहने देते हैं, तब तक के लिए शुभ रात्रि और शुभ रात्रि।